Have you ever encountered a web page that was so busy with various design elements that you had no idea where to even look? If you struggle to find focus on a screen, it's likely that the layout is missing a clear visual hierarchy. The visual hierarchy of a 2D display, think web page, graphic, print, etc., refers to the organization of the design elements on the page so that the eye is guided to consume each design element in the order of intended importance. I like to think about it as what controls the delivery of information from the system to the end user. It gives us cues in order to know where to focus our attention. There are lots of different ways of creating visual hierarchy, but for now we'll focus on 3 key pieces. Number 1, color and contrast. Number 2, scale. And number 3, grouping, like proximity and common regions. Our first key piece, number 1, color and contrast. Applying color to a design makes some elements appear first, while others to recede. This determines what grabs our attention and the importance we assign to various design elements on the screen or page. So it's not the actual color of an element that creates the hierarchy, but rather the contrast in value between the element and the context, or the background, in which it appears. So for example, think about a colorful button or link against a white background. It stands out. We can also use type variation to create contrast. Words styled differently than the surrounding text, like italic or underlined, will attract your attention. Let's move on to number 2, which is scale. You're going to see bigger elements first before seeing smaller elements, which is why it's a great way to create hierarchy. A couple points of advice. Use no more than 3 sizes, think small, medium, and large, and make the most important element the biggest. Likewise, make less important elements smaller. This will help and reinforce the visual hierarchy in the design. And finally, let's discuss number 3, grouping. This means specifically looking at proximity and common regions. So for example, top-level navigation is usually grouped in a line at the top of a web page. Without these groupings, it would be a lot more difficult to understand where standard areas, think navigation, content, ads, are, and it would be harder to figure out where to direct attention and which areas can be safely ignored. So for example, once users identify a right rail group or stuff on the right side of a web page, they may ignore it due to its association with advertisements. Grouping is usually conveyed implicitly through proximity, so how closely spaced elements are. I like to think of common region, which is something visual on a page, like a box or a rectangle, that contains a group of related content, so that you know it all goes together. Once you establish the hierarchy for a given design, focus on applying variations in color and contrast, scale, or grouping. After designing with visual hierarchy in mind, step back and see if the design reads as you intended it by testing with target users. When the page's visual hierarchy accurately reflects the importance of different design elements, users easily understand it and can successfully complete tasks, thus gaining trust in the design and the brand.